Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, good and bad news. I've got a quite packed video for you today, including some exclusive new footage that Warner Bros actually sent to me and I'm allowed to show you today, a new trailer, some Easter eggs, as well as some more bad news as TT Games went out on Twitter to confirm a couple of missing things from the game. But before we get into the video, I wanted to give a shout out to my sponsor Elgato. If you guys are interested in knowing what microphone I use for these videos or my live streams, or what lighting, cameras or green screens that I use, feel free to follow the link in the description below to read all about Elgato's content creation products. But now, let's get straight into the video. First of all, let's talk shortly about the new trailer that they released last week. Darkness is Rising. I'm sure most of you have seen that by now, so I'm gonna keep it fairly short. But it's a both epic and hilarious trailer showcasing all the villains in the game. We get a first look at Snoke, for instance, some amazing Dooku voice acting, and we even get to see Ki-Adi-Mundi's death scene, as sad as that is. But for me, the highlight is still Palpatine. He carries this trailer just as he carried the Battlefront 1 and 2 trailers as well, because Sam Witwer does an amazing voice for him. And of course, we also get Order 67. But someone also found this pretty funny Easter egg in the game, because the mission with Maul in episode 1 is actually called Better Call Maul. And if you didn't understand that already, it's a reference to Better Call Saul, a TV series that I personally love. I'm very excited for the last season. It's basically the prequel to Breaking Bad, if you didn't know already. But yeah, Better Call Maul, the game is just filled with these random connections to other TV series games, and I think it's fun that they've taken the liberty to add so many small details for us to figure out in the game. Now let's head over to the exclusive footage I'm able to show you today. Warner Bros sent me this Gonk footage, which includes, well, as the name suggests, Gonk gameplay, showing gongs on Mustafar, the Naboo generator room where you can see the Maul duel in the background. I also get to see how the gongs actually fight. They seem to be pretty powerful, as most droids seem to be in this game, which I'm very happy to see, as droids were so boring to use in the old games, to be completely honest. But we get to see the Gonk just chilling, running super fast, and even standing still. The Gonk is just looking into the distance and pondering to himself, what does it mean to be a Gonk? And lastly, we also have a Gonk on Exegol with what I could guess is the secret character Gonkatine that we've seen in the menus, because it's basically a red Gonk here next to the normal Gonk, and I think maybe that's a Gonkatine, whatever that means. It's kind of disappointing if it's basically just a red Gonk, but maybe there's something more to it that we will see once we actually get to play the red Gonk / Gonkatine in the game. But now that we've talked about the fun and good news, let's talk a little bit about some bad news. Don't worry, it's nothing extreme that's gonna make you cancel your pre-order, at least I hope so. I've seen a few people actually say they're gonna cancel their pre-order because of this, but I mean, you do you, but I think you're probably missing out on a fantastic game. Anyways, TT Games was actually out last week on Twitter responding directly to fans' concerns, because there was a couple of things that popped up in the community that I think it's good that they clarified. Now, one of the first things that people have been a bit concerned about after seeing the gameplay from when I played the game and all of the other content creators play the game was the HUD, that it's a little bit intrusive and it's way more expansive than like in the old games where it was very clean and simple. So a lot of people hope that you're gonna be able to customize your HUD in the settings, something that me and most others forgot to check when we actually played the game. But they actually responded out on Twitter saying, hey, you will not be able to customize the HUD in Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So that is unfortunate. If you just want my personal opinion, when I first saw the gameplay, when I got to see like an hour of gameplay and the developer played and talked over, I also was a little bit overwhelmed and thought, this HUD looks a little bit annoying. But once I got to play myself, I honestly had no issues with the HUD at all. I thought it was clear, simple, and sure, if you want this super cinematic, immersive experience, maybe it will take away a little bit from that. I didn't have that problem, but that's my opinion, and I totally agree that it's better to have the option to turn it off than not, because then people can just have the experience that they want. Again, I don't think it's a big deal, but at least you know that you will not be able to customize the HUD in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Next up, they confirmed something that we kind of already know. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has local co-op, not online. This is something we've pretty much known, but it's good that they said it straight out. You can still do online co-op on like Steam if you do remote play together, or if you play on PlayStation. I think they have something called PlayStation Share or something like that, Share Play, which means that you can still kind of emulate sitting in the same room. So if the problem is that you can't physically be with your friend or whoever you want to play with, there are ways to get around that on most platforms, luckily. Next up, you guys know that I covered last week that there's not going to be a character customizer, but some of you thought the news wasn't legit because it wasn't coming from an official source, but TT Games also went out and confirmed this on Twitter, and someone actually linked that interview from 2019 that I showed, and they responded saying the following: "Hi, we'd like to address this point directly. This interview was from 2019 and sometimes features change throughout development. We can confirm that LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga doesn't have character customization, but we do have 300 plus characters for you to choose from." So it's unfortunate, but I mean, we obviously already knew this from last week, but in case you didn't believe those news, now you have it on paper from an official source. And a lot of people then ask, can you add a character customizer later down the line? To which they responded saying, "We have nothing to announce on any future updates at this time." And I think people are reading way too much into this reply, to be honest. This is usually what most games say, especially when it's not built to be a live service game. I don't think there's gonna be any big post-launch updates to this game other than the DLC character packs, but I'm also hoping that they're gonna step away from the classic way of handling LEGO games where they just put out the game and then leave it. Because this game seems to have so much potential that I would love to see them add more content to the game. I would gladly pay $30 for an expansion that would add, whether it's The Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Rogue One, Solo, any maps and locations that we don't have in the base game. Because they've already built this huge game, so why not capitalize on that? At least that's what I hope. But if there are any future updates for the game, I'm sure there's going to be patches. I honestly don't think a character customizer is going to be their biggest priority, because it's not really something that will benefit the game too much. I know a lot of you want that feature and will miss it, and I totally understand that. But I think if there's going to be any big feature updates post-launch, they're probably going to go in other directions. I could very well be wrong there, but that's just my guess based on, well, what they could do with the game. But unfortunately, we might just be in the situation where they drop the game and that's about it. Although I'm hoping that this entire new engine thing will make it easier for them to potentially do post-launch content. I've got my fingers crossed for real, because even though I haven't even played the game yet, I want more. Because I just see the potential this has and how well they've executed everything, that I want basically the entire Star Wars universe available inside this game. If it's somehow possible, yes, I will gladly pay extra for that. But that brings this video to an end. If you guys enjoyed it and you're new on the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button below for more LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga content. And for those of you who don't know, I actually have a second channel where I upload short LEGO Star Wars clips, and for some reason that channel is absolutely blowing up right now, getting like 100,000 views a day. I don't really understand why, but people seem to like those LEGO Star Wars clips, so head over there if you haven't subscribed already. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.